Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Hollywood Destination 4 bike rack carrier here on our 2015 Ford Escape. Now this can be a great way of getting a ton of bikes to wherever you need to go on your destination. Taking a look at it, it does look a little busy, I will give you that. It's not going to be the prettiest rack on the back of your car. However, if you're looking for a great utilitarian and economic option to get your bikes where you want to go, the destination is going to be your best friend. Now all these busy parts are going to be great for getting us a lot of great securance on our bike. So we're going to get 3 points of contact on our bike, 2 are going to be on our wheels, and 1 is going to be right in the middle of our frame, and that's what really starts adding to this being such a busy platform rack. A couple things about the rack though itself, I like to mention these little reflectors on the very end. I just don't think they're standard enough across the industry, and I'd like to see more. It's just nice to let people know behind us exactly where we are, especially with our black rack, especially if we are getting home late from a long drive, or if it's dusk as we're taking a little longer on the ride. Can be nice to just let people know exactly where we are. That way our friends and our family get home safe with no accidents. The platform itself, though, the cradles aren't going to be anything too crazy. So you're going to get most of just your standard and kind of mountain bike feel kind of bike on this guy. About 3 inches width on maximum on that cradle with that nice 18C groove on the middle for those tires. And one thing I do like about this guy, and makes it a little bit more versatile than others, is you actually can transpose these cradles, or I'm sorry, this strip, I should say, on these cradles. As you can see, we have these 2 little mounting holes here. These knobs just quickly spin off, and then you can reinsert it here and tighten it down in no time. The straps themselves are pretty great. That lever system works great of ratcheting down. You're getting that nice little kind of padding there on it. And I do like the little open hooks here. It makes it really easy to really cinch those down on our frame, whether it be cold or, and kind of rainy. That way we're not kind of pinching our hands, causing any kind of discomfort. So really make sure we get a nice tight fit on our bike. Talking about our bikes though, this guy does have a 35-pound capacity per bike. So again, you're kind of stuck to those standard to mountain bike kind of range of weights. And one thing to take note too, we do have frame contact here today. So if you are looking away of transporting your carbon frames, unfortunately, the destination not going to be the tool to do so. As you can see, we are having that frame contact. It will end up warping and deteriorating those frames. Now, a lot of times when you have frame mount kind of things, especially in the middle, you have an issue with step-through bikes, kiddos bikes, and even sometimes women's bikes, as their frame might be a little different. But because this guy has a 360 degrees of rotation available for itself, we're going to have no trouble at all fitting a host of different needs, whether you be diagonal, horizontal, or vertical. Our frames are going to have no trouble at all actually having a good contact point. That way they stay nice and secure on our center mass. So it's not going to take us too much time to get this bike off. Let's just go ahead and hop to it. Just go ahead and pop open this strap on the front here. One thing I do like about these strips too, they can be tucked underneath the cradle very easily. A lot of times when you start seeing those kind of wheel mounts, they just kind of get sit in the way. These guys, you can actually tuck them underneath the cradle. You can rotate them, and that way they're not messing with you as you go to mount your bike on our carrier. But that does bring us to our last hold here on our rack. I like to kind of just get a hand behind the entire bike, and that way I'm holding that bike in as I press in that lever. That makes it really easy to take this off. I can transfer, and that way I'm making sure that this isn't going into my vehicle or myself. I like to get behind where the gear housing is too. It can be way easier than fighting that across that center mass. And as you can see, we already are good to ride. So mounting it, about just as easy. I like, again, walking up on that gear housing side, setting that front tire on the other one. Makes it really easy not to have to be messing with all these cradles so much. Now, unfortunately for us today too though, this guy doesn't have a tilt-away feature, so there's no way of innately dropping this when our bikes are on here and accessing the back of our hatch. And even if we did right now, our center mass is kind of giving us a little trouble here, but we can go ahead and quickly drop it down. On the side here, just going to see a little hand knob. We're going to go ahead and loosen that guy. It's going to give us just enough room to get this lever system out of the way, and we can even drop our entirety of our mass. The only thing to look out for, these cradles do like to get in the way just a little bit. Once you find where they can go though, it will sit down quite nicely for yourself. And one thing I love to do too, guys, take this extra strap, run it right through here. That way our center mass isn't popping up when we go put it away in its full position. But now that that mass is dropped, I can come right here, pop open the back of my hatch, and now I have complete access to the rear of my vehicle, whether it be coolers, helmets, anything I might need, whether you're making a quick stop somewhere. It can be nice to go ahead, just jump in the back here, get anything we might need from the inside quickly and easily for ourselves. Now keep in mind though, you are having to take those bikes off, so that's kind of the disadvantage. That's just one of the kind of the cons of this guy, but it's definitely nothing too bad to work with, as you saw how quick that was to drop. Now, another important dimension to keep in mind is our clearance to the ground, though. We want to keep in mind that we don't have any kind of contact. Make sure our bikes are getting transported safely here. Now, we are sitting a little bit low here on the Escape, nothing too crazy. Now, I take a quick look here. Looks like I'm right at 17.5 inches there from the ground to the end of our carrier. So definitely going to be a dimension I want to keep on our minds, just if we are doing anything, very steep hill or anything. As those front wheels go up, the back will go down, and so will your hitch mounted accessories. So it's definitely something that we want to be conscious of. 17.5 though, definitely not the worst that I've ever seen. Just keep in mind, if you're doing any off-roading, just be careful with that back end. But we are dealing with a little bit of length here in our vehicle, our Escape. Not the longest one for sure, pretty much medium tier here. Let's see exactly what we're working with. From the rear of our bumper here to the very end, it's putting us right at 38.5 inches there from the rear of our car. Definitely a lot of length. Keep in mind, you are getting 4 bikes on this guy, so innately you're going to have that length issue. We do have a way of quickly shortening that down. On the inside here, you're going to see a little retaining clip and a pin system. So we're going to go ahead and take that clip out like so. And then on the other side, we are going to have a little hand knob. I like this guy too. It is pretty wide. It's not going to be, too tiny to where you can't get a good handle on it. And with just a few little rotations, we are going to be exposing that thread. Go ahead and let it hang there with that nice safety cable. And we're going to walk right up. Now, you're not going to walk it all the way. Just kind of about right to where you want it. You'll find that pin, and you can reinsert like so, and then tighten in with that hand knob. That way we can take a lot of this play out. We won't want this rocking around on the back of our vehicle. And with a quick replacement of our clip, we are nice and secure. So you can see here, little to no play. You're going to have a little rattle there. I don't think it's going to be enough to even be feeling it in the car. Definitely not going to be hearing it at all. And one thing I do want to point out, we are just a little bit close to our vehicle, but since we tied down those center mass, we're going to have no trouble at all with us making contact with the back of our Escape. So with a quick look here, I can see from the end of our bumper here to the closest point of our carrier is putting us at 4.5 inches. So pretty good spacing there. As you can see, not going to be interacting with our vehicle at all, which we love to see. And from the rear of the bumper to the very end of the carrier now, where our wings are, is putting us right under 14 inches. So about 13 and 15/16 to the end of the carrier. Definitely a lot of that space has been saved, almost 20 inches or so. Now, we can get this in the garage, or at least a lot more maneuverability when we want to go and park this guy. So, love to see that. Very, very easy to use. Moving our way down here on the inside though, you can see we do have a 2-inch shank today, and that also is going into our 2-inch hitch here on our Escape. On the inside though, you are going to see you can have a nice anti-rattle threaded hitch bolt. Now what these guys do, they're pretty standard across the industry, but they bring this all in line to your hitch. So your carrier, all that play is being taken out. As you can see, as I shake this guy, it's shaking that entire vehicle, which is great. It's going to make for a nice smooth ride for ourselves, our bike rack, and our bikes. And the name of the game with these guys, take out as much play as you can. On the very end too, you're going to see we do have a locking core here to make sure that our carrier stays to our vehicle when we leave it unattended. But that does kind of bring me to my other counterpoint for the destination. I think overall it's a great system. The only thing that's kind of lacking to me, again, that tilt-away feature would be great if we are having a lot of frequent stops, but B, security measure can be a huge deal. It doesn't come with any cable locks or anything to actually hold your bike to the carrier, so that's definitely something that I would recommend. Either pick it up at etrailer.com can be a great way. That way we can make sure that our bikes are staying nice and secure to our carrier when we leave it unattended. Well, I think the destination does an amazing job. Again, right, you're just wanting to get some bikes to the trailhead, whether it be for you, your friends, or your family, and I think you really can't beat what the destination gives you. Now, with that 35-pound capacity too, you're going to do a great job of getting most of those bikes that a host of people are going to want to bring on their trips. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the Holiday Destination 4 Bike Rack Carrier here on our 2015 Ford Escape. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.
Now we're going to go ahead and take it on our test course. First we'll start with the slaloms. This is going to show the side-to-side action. It's kind of going to mimic the movements that you'll see whenever you're driving down the road normally. Now we'll have the alternating speed bumps. This is going to be more so like the uneven roads and some of that uneven terrain you might be traveling on, and see how it holds up.